Hey YouTube, Appalachian Survivals here. I wanted to talk a little bit today about just having some emergency food supplies in your vehicle, in a bug out bag, in a go bag, whatever you want to call it, whatever your main way of having this with you, near you, wherever your area of operation is, your AO. So a lot of times, you know, your AO may be at work. So, you know, if something happened and you were without power, without food, without whatever, would you be able to get to this? Would you be able to use this? In your vehicle is a perfect place to keep things like this. And what I've got here is an MRE. This is a meal ready to eat. This is what I had eaten a lot of in the Army. When I spent my time in the Army, I was able to get a hold of some of these later on. And this one, you can see I had a mouse problem, so I thought I would go ahead, since I'm not really sure what's good in here and what's not now. Thought I would use this as a good example to open it up, show you what's inside, and give you a good example of how these can be beneficial to you for an emergency situation. So I like to keep these in my vehicle in a go bag with some blankets, other things, and I'm going to go over my vehicle kit in some later episodes. But this is something that I really think is important to have, especially if you're going to be away from the homestead, if you're going to be anywhere that there's a potential that you could go without a meal, whether it be for a day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever, that you have some type of ability to put calories into your body so that you can use the strength to get home. So even if it's in your car, so that if your car breaks down and you find yourself having to walk 15, 20 miles or even 5 miles, sometimes you may need that. If you haven't eaten that day, you need that caloric intake to be able to burn those calories to get home. Or in an emergency situation, you may need to build a shelter. You may need to do all these things, and you're going to need those calories, and those calories are going to come in handy. So I'm going to open this up. We're going to look at it and see some of the advantages. Now, I'm going to point out here shortly that I don't expect everybody to go out and go buy these MREs as your sole means of food. There are a lot of other options out there. I just happened to have a friend who was getting rid of a bunch that he had had for a long time, and I also had somebody I saw on, I believe it was Facebook Marketplace, was selling a couple cases of these for very cheap. If you would go to an Army surplus store or get on Cheaper Than Dirt or something like that and try to order these, you're talking about, I think they're anywhere up to 60, 70 bucks for a case of 12. That's not a terrible price. However, there's a lot of other cheaper alternatives out there, and again, everybody knows me, I'm all about keeping the price down on things, because in Appalachia, sometimes it's better to save the money and use it where you can. But again, this is a very important part of survival. Again, whether it's emergency preparedness because of weather, emergency preparedness because if you would get lost in the woods, maybe you're a hiker, maybe you're somebody who likes camping, maybe you're somebody who likes caving, you like climbing, rock climbing. These are all awesome things that you could keep in your ruck, in your pack, in your go bag. That would be beneficial to you. Again, even in the trunk of your car. And these will stay very, very good for the trunk of your car. Some people argue, oh, if you keep it in your car and there's a lot of heat, then it's going to be gross. Well, we had these out in the El Paso desert, in a Humvee baking for over a month, and ate them, and I've got no problems since then. Okay, so again, mouse got into it, so let's open her up and see what we got inside here. So this is the cheese tortilla vegetarian. So the military likes to facilitate anybody who likes different kinds of food styles. So whether you're vegetarian, you like meat, whatever, they will take care of you. So first thing we've got here is we've got a beverage bag, and what this is for mixing your beverages. You put some water in here, you put some, you'll see here, you can put, there's some electrolyte powder in here, there are tea bags, sometimes there is hot chocolate. We'll get into that here in a minute, but that's what that bag is for. This is a heater pack. You add water to this and this will warm up very quickly. They're similar to the hand warmers that you would use for wintertime when it's cold for your pockets. Got crackers, have First Strike nutritious energy bar. There's some southeast Ohio Appalachian talk there in that nutritious energy bar. These actually aren't too bad. They're pretty good. Everybody's favorite chunky peanut butter. That is the best. That is awesome on those crackers. These crackers are so dry, I will warn you, they're dry. You're going to always want your peanut butter or your cheese to go with that. Here we got spiced apple pieces. Basically, just spiced apple pieces. Apples with cinnamon. So they're really good. Seasoning blend. This is salt-free, so I'm assuming that is going to be for the cheese tortellini and tomato sauce. I will tell you, I've had these before and I hate them. They're not good at all. However, if we look at the calories, there's 280 calories in this. So when you need the calories, you want to take those calories. And then even better, pack of M&Ms. And you can see where the mice wanted to go for that. They went straight for those M&Ms. But I remember if you got one of these in basic training, you could easily sell this pack of M&Ms for $5 to $10, no problem. And then a spoon. So you know, there's not a whole lot here. It's not super fancy. However, this is a good meal that you could use in a pinch. And if you really needed, you know, those calories, I mean, we're talking this bar alone is 270 calories. So you could eat this and have 270 calories, or you can eat this to have 270 calories. So here we're up to almost 600 calories, right? So this meal generally, after you've eaten everything in this meal, is going to give you anywhere from 1,500 to 1,800 calories. So if you're dieting, don't eat an MRE just for a meal because you've had your caloric intake for the day. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this package here, kind of show you some things that are in here that are kind of nice. Chiclets, keep your breath smelling nice. Spiced cider. So again, you can pour your spiced cider in your bag, heat it up with your heater, and you've got a nice little spiced cider there to drink. Moist towelette, those always come in handy. Ionized salt, toilet paper, and matches. So that is essentially what is in an MRE. So when you have one MRE, that is something that is an advantage there. And just to show you what the food packages look like, they're essentially just a Mylar style packaging. You tear it open and you just take your spoon and eat it. You can warm it up. Generally, I never warmed them up because it just was such a pain and took too long. So you can eat them cold and they taste okay. One trick I did learn a long time ago was it is easier to take it sideways, cut it across the top, and make more of a bowl than to cut it this way and keep dipping it in with your spoon to where your spoon's getting all covered in whatever it is you're eating. So that is a tip for those of you who have never eaten MREs before, if you happen to buy some MREs or whatever. So I'm going to push all this out of the way, Napoleon Dynamite style. Alright, and I'm going to show you what else you can get similar to an MRE. And here is a civilian version of pretty much the same thing. The difference is it comes in this plastic, clear plastic, so it's not as tactical. Obviously it's going to make a little bit more noise. I mean here, the less noise than this. It's going to have pretty much all the same things in here. It's going to be different menu items. On this one is pasta with garden vegetables, and it's showing this whole MRE has 1,230 calories. So with this package. So just to kind of give you an idea of what is in this pack. Now, these are a little bit cheaper. Again, like this is what you're going to get if you order from Cheaper Than Dirt and say you think you're getting MREs. You're not really getting the military government MREs. You're going to get the civilian version. So you're going to be paying a lot of money for this. Now, one thing I've learned is knowing about what goes into an MRE, you can get similar calories for a lot cheaper You just have to do a little bit of thinking, and you just have to do a little bit of, you just have to, just use a little bit of ingenuity. So I'm going to show you what I kind of came up with as a, not necessarily a substitute. Primarily I'm going to keep these because of how long they stay, but I've also got a lot of these kits made up that I'm going to show you here. I've got a lot of these kits here made up, and basically what it is these are a lot cheaper than these, and these have about the same amount of calories when you really look at it. So what I do is, let's get that out of the way. I've got electrolyte powder, so I can put that in a water bottle in my canteen and whatever I need. That's going to give me a little bit. These might be sugar-free, but there are still some electrolytes in there. Going along with the electrolytes, another thing I always keep in my homemade MRE packs are Vita-C's, Emergen-C's, vitamin C, whatever they are. There's all kinds of different brands out there, but it is a lot of vitamin C to try to keep you healthy. And I often take these a lot. Come flu season, I'll try to drink one of these every morning, and it seems to really help. But obviously when you're on the go, in an emergency situation, you might not have food for a couple days. Vitamin C is really going to help you. So it's as simple as gives you a little bit of extra taste. I do not recommend the strawberry kiwi. They're terrible. I'd rather have the orange that tastes like Tang than the strawberry kiwi. They don't taste good at all. However, I bought them, so I got to use them. Anyway, these are great to keep with your other electrolyte powders. Pop-Tarts. Alright, these stay good, not a problem. Everybody loves Pop-Tarts. You can get your favorite brand Pop-Tarts. And who doesn't love Pop-Tart? Again, you're looking at 200 some calories just with these two Pop-Tarts. Granola bars. These are perfect. They stay forever. Even, I'm one of those guys, and you might freak out, whatever. I have a lot of things that maybe they're a little bit past the date, but I'm telling you, if oats and honey granola can go bad, and I, don't notice it when I first take a bite, then I guess I might get sick. But I've never gotten sick on these. I think these are a little outdated, but these stay good forever. I was hunting and I found oats and honey from like 2 years ago, ate it up in the deer stand, and didn't get sick, didn't have any problems. It did taste a little stale, but it was no problem. But again, these have 190 calories a piece, so there's 400 calories, almost 400 calories there alone. We're getting close to the calorie intake, and we've just got foods that we don't even have to really worry about. And then obviously every college student's favorite meal, ramen noodles. And if you look at the caloric intake here, 370 calories per container. So I'm at 1,000 calories with these three items here. Now, these aren't going to be super filling, but I'm going to have a little bit of protein in with the oats and honey. I'm going to have, obviously, these are mostly going to be starches and sugars, but I've got a little bit of carbs here that'll help me there. But that's why I always throw in an extra can of something like this, chunky sirloin burger with country vegetables. And I always make sure it has this simple pull tab. I can pull that off because in my bag I also put a little thing of tea, so if I need to, I can use this can and boil up some water and have tea once I'm done eating. I always keep a plastic spoon in there so that I can eat my chunky soup. The nice part about this is all cooked, and it's pre-boiled to temperature, so you don't have to worry about eating it cold. It's not a problem at all. And here I've got 150 calories per cup, and there are, let's see, okay, serving size is 1 cup, and there are 2 cups in this thing, so I'm looking at 300 calories right here. So here, I've got the same caloric intake from this little bit here, and I would say I could make about 6 kits of MREs out of, obviously, buying packages that the ramen noodles come in. This comes, the granola bars come in, that the Pop-Tarts come in, and then buying some cans of soup. For the price of 4 of these, I could probably make about 20 of these. So again, there's advantages and disadvantages. This stuff is not made for long-term shelf stability. However, in the short term, if I decide I want to eat some of this, it's not a problem that I eat it. Here, if I eat some of this, generally because of the way they make this, and I'm going to be honest, this is my experience in the military, if I eat too many MREs a day, it can sometimes tend to be a little tough on the system, if that makes any sense. But again, I think there's importance to these. I think there is definitely a use for these. I keep these and I have them for a reason, and especially the military, hit the camera there, especially the military versions. I have these for a reason, especially if I'm going to go out on any kind of hunting trip, or let's say, you know, something happened that I would have to go on some kind of op or something like that. You know, I have that ability to have the quietness, have the ability to, you know, have everything I need in there. And actually there is a thing we called field stripping our MREs to lighten on the weight, and I'll show that probably in another video down the road here. But again, I just want to share the differences here, you know, in military MREs, civilian MREs, and homemade MREs. It's really not that hard. Like I said, if you're someone who, hey, you know, I don't have the money to spend on finding some military ones or buying the commercial MREs, if, you know, go down to your Family Dollar, your Dollar General, your Dollar Tree. That's how you know I'm in Appalachia, because those are the three places that are close, right? Or go to a Walmart, go to a Kmart, whatever. If they even have Kmarts anymore, I don't even know if they're around. But get what you need. You know, you can buy these in the packages and then split them up. Buy you some Ziploc bags. I prefer the sliding Ziploc bags. They're a little more robust, a little thicker, but I just wanted to put that together just to kind of show you an example of how easy it is to make that. So again, these were some examples of just some emergency food rations that you could get, buy, or make yourself. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them down in the message box, and be sure to like and subscribe, and if you haven't, push the notification bell so that you can see all of the videos that are coming out. Thank you for your guys' time. Be safe out there, and as usual, God bless.